Yep, sounds good. All right. Well, hello everyone who's in the room. Welcome today. My name is Angie Hircock. And I am an account specialist with Atomic Learning, which means that I work with our different partners to implement technology training across their campus and help them to really get the most out of their technology that they have, as well as their subscription with Atomic Learning. So I thought as we got started today, kind of just wanted to see who is in the room. And I know I have some polling up here, but if you just raise your hand, do we have any faculty in the room? Any instructional designers? Instructional technology? Or student services, working with students directly? Great, sounds good. Looks like a nice mix of people then. Okay. I should say as we go through too, you can, I have some time for questions at the end, but if you have questions as we go through, just let me know. So I know that many of you are probably familiar with all the abundance of technology that's available on campuses. You have things that are provided by the university or the college, and then people come with their own set of technology skills and priorities, things they want to learn. They bring their own devices, mobile devices, and then they have the larger laptops and desktops that they might have on their own, or things that are provided on campus. It can all be a bit overwhelming. Excuse me, be a bit overwhelming. And then on top of that, just for fun, we add some LMSs on top. So the LMS that your campus may use. All this technology, the image looks pretty overwhelming, and that's because it can feel pretty overwhelming with all the different things that are going on there on campus. So Atomic Learning, our mission is we exist to believe, to guide users, we like to say, from awkward to awesome. And we do this by connecting the dots between what they need to use in learning to what they're really using in their real lives, and create those aha moments. Those moments where they discover something new or discover a simpler way to do something that they've been doing every day. We do this through small, we call them atoms of learning. They're just bite-sized tutorials. And we like to connect, like I said, connect users through what the applications they're using and the hardware that they're using to make their lives easier. So you might be, you might ask yourself what tutorials can do to help utilize the technology on campus. Isn't it just adding another kind of technology or resource on top of that whole mishmash of applications and devices? So I'm going to kind of go through different ways that Atomic Learning helps utilize the technology that is already there without adding to the mess. We're used all over campuses. We like to say that we're a campus-wide resource. Some places, just to start off with, the library, in classrooms, as well as information technology. And I'm going to start with using Atomic Learning as a just-in-time resource, because that's where we got our start. We were started by some IT specialists who saw a need. They were spending a lot of their time answering the same questions over and over again. Excuse me, spending a lot of their time answering the same questions over and over again. So they decided to kind of band together and create these tutorials. So we were started out of a just-in-time need. So that's where I'm going to start today. If you look over on this screen over here, you will see one of our series pages. So this is on the site. You can see I just have one pulled up as an example. With our computer literacy basics training is the one I have up. This is what our basic series page looks like. Title, a short description, here of what you will find in that training or what the application covers, depending on what the training is. We break the training down into sections. So again, if you're looking for a just-in-time resource, if you have someone coming up to the help desk in the library, or you're working on a project in the classroom, or for the classroom, you can, students, faculty, staff can come out to the site, find just what they need, and get back to what they were doing. So I'll open the section here, and you'll see some different tutorials that we have. Over here is the title of the tutorial, and a little bit farther to the right is the time. I mentioned atoms of learning, and we call them that because we try to keep them between 1 and 3 minutes long. So you'll see a couple that are shorter and a couple that are just a little bit longer, but generally that 1 to 3 minutes. And that kind of was born out of our start as a just-in-time resource. We wanted people to be able to come out, find what they needed, and get back to what they were doing without having to do a lot of searching or scrub through a big long video. So we keep the tutorials pretty short. I'm not sure if it'll play in this browser here, but this is the playback window normally. Obviously a nice little video plays there that discusses in this tutorial will discuss hardware versus software to introduce people to that concept if they are unfamiliar with it. The tutorials are closed captioned as well. The other piece, we keep them short for just in time, but we also need an easy way to share for just in time. So when you have someone come up to that help desk and you want to just share that answer quickly, there's a couple different ways you can share atomic learning. This key number is 1, so they can grab that, and you can share that number with them in a chat window or what have you, and they can come out and search that on the site. In the playback window, we also have this share button, which will give you a direct link. And we also have an easy links tool, which creates active hyperlinks for you. Excuse me. It creates active hyperlinks. So these can be pasted onto a class resource page if you're finding students are really struggling with an application, or an FAQ page with your help desk, things like that. All right. Thanks, Patrick. So just a quote there from Leslie Smith, who used to be the Dean of Technology and Distance Education at Rappahannock. Some other places that we find atomic learning being used are places that really work directly with students outside of the classroom. So places like career services, student services. We know that utilizing technology is more than just that how-to piece, and this is where we really talk about connecting learning with life. What are the students doing right now that they might be able to do better with technology, or do easier, have an easier time with if they could really utilize that technology in a powerful way. You'll see on my screen here some of our in-depth technology workshops. Excuse me. Some in-depth technology workshops, and these are really about digging into the topics and the applications that and applying technology to things that students and those people that work with students may talk about every day. We also have some soft skills and career skills training. It's not on my screen here, but back at the back of the room in the document stand is our atomic learning training directory. So that gives you a list. It'll have these workshops listed in there, as well as our career services. And if you're interested, it also has the list of all the software applications that we cover with training. Other places on campus that we see a need to utilize the technology in the best way possible. Tutoring and support, whether that be a writing center, something like that, as well as online learning. We had this quote come out of a webinar that we did about using atomic learning in the classroom, and it is one of my favorites, so I'll just give it a quick read. The ability to tweet doesn't imply that you are technologically savvy. Usually all it implies is that you are good at making short, pithy remarks and have limited conversational ability. What we have are a bunch of kids that are extremely specialized in their computer abilities, but they can't use Excel or something in your field you may consider very basic. We have to broaden their horizons with technology uses and show them they have to be able to apply their technology skills. Jared Reynolds, who is an instructor at Hardin-Simmons, uses atomic learning to teach a basic computing class, and he actually removed his textbook and uses atomic learning alone to teach students how to utilize that technology that they use every day. And we find that the best way to reach students and really get down to their level, be in their life daily, connecting learning and life is to be able to integrate into LMS. So we do integrate with any LTI compliant LMS, which includes the 4 that are on your screen, as well as some others. I know if you were in the Canvas session earlier in the week, they demonstrated atomic learning in Canvas. So I thought I'd show you something a little bit different. And on the screen to my left over here, you'll see my Blackboard is pulled up. So I will just hop in there. Pulling things into your courses or sharing atomic learning in the tutoring center really allows professors or those tutors to pull the button pushing out of their teaching or their tutoring, whether that be, I have an Excel pulled up here as my first example. So if you have students in the class who should know how to use Excel already, the expectation is that they know Excel. You're obviously going to have a wide range of students, some that don't know Excel at all. So you can use atomic learning as kind of a remedial training for them. It can also be put in just as a resource or an assignment. So if you're teaching if a faculty member is teaching a new skill to students within Excel, rather than actually teach how to do the Excel, they can throw atomic learning training into their course and focus instead on the concept that they're teaching. You're also going to have students, obviously, who are, well, hopefully, I should say, you'll have students who are very, who know the skill already, who have that technology skill in place. So atomic learning also provides advanced training in a lot of our software applications. Specifically, I know Excel does, to provide them a little more of a challenge if you want to teach to each level or have a resource there for each level. Pulling content into an LMS is pretty simple. In Blackboard, it's under the mashup tool in content. Blackboard is nice. There are a few other places you can pull it in, but content is the main place. Just select atomic learning. I wanted to also use this time to just point out that we do have training on those LMSs as well. They were a place. In that first image, we just added them on top as kind of a problem, but they can be really great to help solve some of those the overwhelmingness of that technology, if people know how to use them. And so we have training on all those LMSs as well as, again, some others. So I'll just call this one Blackboard Basics for now. I can put in a short description. The atomic learning training that's pulled into an LMS does report back to the grade center. So you can give that a point value if you'd like. And then I'll hit submit and select training. And this just loads a basic search box, and it's going to look very similar. If you've ever gone out to the site, if you're a partner with Atomic Learning, it looks very similar. It actually looks a little bit different now because our LTI tool and our site are both 100% mobile. Well, I should say I know our site is 100% mobile responsive. So it's looking a little bit different just because of this browser, but it does look very similar to what you see on the site.
Angie?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing the browser that's on our right on the stage?
Yes.
All I see is a Blackboard login screen. I don't know, maybe others see it okay, but it might be worth checking.
I just see the login screen too.
Oh, I couldn't quite hear that. You just see the sign in?
Yes.
Well,
Often there is a problem when you're trying to log in through the browser. If you desktop share, you can usually do it, but...
okay, let me do that then. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Uh-oh, we lost another one.
Patrick, are you scaring all these people away?
I must be, Valerie. But I'll tell you what, we're giving away gift cards based on people who are here, and since we have some time, we might as well use it, huh?
Oh, that would be nice.
Okay. Now everybody can hear me, right? Is everybody awake and all that? Let's see how many people we have in here, and then we're going to do a random selection. Looks like we have 12 users. Okay. Well, that landed on the recorder, so we have to do another one. Okay, Dan Ream.
No fair. I'm the recorder.
Yeah, but you're also on the committee, so you don't get one anyway.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that.
Okay, Dan's excited. No problem. We're giving away door prizes while you're gone.
All right. Sounds good.
We got one. Let's see what the next one is. Joey Robinson. That's an easy one. I can carry it across the hall. Sorry, I got to write them down, otherwise I don't remember it. Okay. One more time, and the next... By the way, these are $25 Amazon gift cards, courtesy of Atomic Learning. All right. I'm technologically challenged. Val Fisher. We got one more. And we still have only 12 users, so let's see. And it goes to number 12 on the list. Oh, Veronica, you're a committee member. I know you ought to get paid for it, right? All right, let's try again. We already had that one. See, we don't have enough people to get...
I'm not going to serve next year if this is going to be the rule.
But you get paid so well.
Oh, dear.
All right, that one landed on me, so that's not going to work either. There's too many of us in here. All right, let's see who this is. Oh, that's Angie, so she doesn't get one. She's giving them. Okay, Barbara, D-R-A-U-D-E, Drode. What is it, Barbara? Are you there somewhere? Okay, I got that written down. All right. Barbara's there somewhere. Where's Barbara? Oh, she's over there at the left. She's muted. Well, she won a door prize by being here. I hope she's there. Dan's jumping around like crazy because he's excited.
Good, I'm glad.
Joey and Val. Come on, Barbara. Come on, Barbara. All right, we better give it back to Angie. She's got a presentation to finish. Thanks, Angie, and thanks to Atomic Learning for those nice gifts.
No problem. Enjoy. Can you all see the content piece of my Blackboard now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We see something there. I guess that's it.
So you see Excel Basics here on the top?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. So I'll backtrack a little. Like I said, you can pull content into your LMS. So again, different skill levels depending on what you are teaching, what is being taught, and what skill levels you have in your course. I'll go ahead and show that again. Building content again is just up here in Blackboard and under mashups. Select Atomic Learning. You can give it a title, and I'll just call this one Blackboard Basics again. And you can put in a short description. Like I mentioned before, it does report back to the Grade Center in those LMS, Blackboard, Canvas, and Moodle. And you can set that points to whatever you'd like, or not have it report back to the Grade Center if you're putting it in, if you have faculty who are putting it in as a resource. Submit and select training. And this is the search box that if you're a partner with the site, if you're partner with Atomic Learning, have gone out to the site before, you're probably pretty familiar with this search screen. And I'll just pull in some student training here as an example. So I select that series page. Again, you'll see that broken down into different sections. So you don't deal with an overwhelming list. We keep that same outline form so your students aren't overwhelmed with a long list of tutorials. You can select individual tutorials. So if you just need to give a few pointers to students, if they're really struggling with a certain technology or a certain concept that and they just need a little bit of help, you can just throw in a few tutorials. If you're using it as a teaching tool, an assignment, you might want to select an entire section, or we have the check all, uncheck all buttons here as well for you to use. Specifically, maybe if you're putting in as a resource, you can include everything, so it's all available there. I'll just hit preview selections. And this is your student view. They don't have to leave they don't have to leave Blackboard or their LMS to watch the tutorials. It's all right there. We want to take away any distractions or any extra steps that they might have to deal with. So if faculty are pulling it into their courses, they don't have to leave Blackboard. Students don't have to leave Blackboard to view. Kind of just taking away any steps that we can to make it make that connection faster for them. If I hit submit, you can see there's my Blackboard Basics, and if I go to my Results Center here, you can see there's my Blackboard Basics grade column that I created. Since I'm out and sharing my desktop, I'm going to skip backward just a little bit and hop into, I just want to show you one of the tutorials in case you are not familiar with Atomic Learning. Again, I'm just going to go to that same computer literacy basics training that we had before, and I'll just play this very short tutorial for you. You can see the closed caption is available as well. So that, again, it's just one of the very short tutorials. We do have some that are a little bit longer. Any questions at all about that LMS integration? All right, sounds good. So kind of back to our areas of campus. We also see Atomic Learning being used a lot in instructional technology, and I know we had a few hand raises for instructional technologists in here. Often we see in that area of campus, if you're rolling out a new software or a new version of a software that people may be familiar with, or an LMS, Atomic Learning can offer a preview to that, depending on the software, when you're rolling it and when it's being released. We're partners with a lot of different software companies, and so that we can get that training out very quickly. So you can kind of use it as a preview so things don't come as quite a shock if it's a big user interface change for your faculty and staff. You can also use it as a learning tool. So we have several instructional technologists that we work with who will use us in their training or refer to us as a resource for them to come back to. So you do your in-person training, but you may not be available all the time after that training. So just referring to Atomic Learning as something that they can come back to if they have more questions, if they aren't able to get a hold of the trainer. We also see Atomic Learning used in disability services. We have an assistive technology collection which goes over software and hardware, common applications that you'll see used by that area of campus. Things like Dragon Naturally Speaking, Read and Write Gold. And we also cover common applications. So for faculty who may never have created an accessible syllabus before, we talk about how to use the accessibility features in Word or in Acrobat, as well as we have a project that walks them through creating that accessible syllabus. So really just trying to help them utilize Word and the resources that they have available to get that accessible syllabus done and done well. In the last year or so, when I started with Atomic Learning about a year ago, we've heard a lot about HR in that time, using us for professional development, and that's taken a whole myriad of different, has a different look each time. So sometimes it's a professional development campaign where they are just helping staff to utilize their computers in the best way possible, just letting them know that the resource is there. So kind of here's the resource, please use it if you need it, all the way to we have some HR folks using our skills assessments to kind of assess where their staff are. Sometimes it's a professional development requirement that they get a certain score on our skills assessments to show that they've learned it. Sometimes they're required to go take the assessment first, and if they can get a certain score, they don't need to take the training, things like that. So the skill assessments can be used both as formative and kind of a post-assessment. I mentioned them with HR, but they also are able, you can also pull them into classes. They're available you can pull them into an LMS integration. So if you want them to report back to the Grade Center, that is available with the assessments at all. But really just allowing the users to show what they've learned and prove what they've learned. I can definitely go in and show you those skills assessments if anyone has any questions, or if no one has any questions, but I wanted to kind of leave some time to answer any questions people may have. All right. Well, if there's no questions,
Angie,
Mm-hmm.
one thing you mentioned earlier, and I actually raised my hand at the time, but you're
Oh,
busy.
sorry.
Not a problem. You mentioned using it in career services or career centers. What do they use in particular?
Yeah. Well, it really depends on what their focus is. We see a lot of career services getting students ready with technical skills they may not have. A lot of employers looking for Excel skills that may be just out of their reach, or they don't feel comfortable saying they're proficient in Excel. Excel is just the big one we hear a lot. So they can use it for those technical skills. We also have some soft skills that are new to Atomic Learning since last year, and we rolled quite a few more just in the last month and a half. So that's kind of an area that's new to Atomic Learning, are those careers and soft skills. And those are on that. Yeah. We have things like kind of that run the gamut. So we have some which actually came out of a request from a customer to use with their help desk. They put everyone through that customer service training. We also have things like effective listening and effective meeting, how to have an effective meeting. And those are some of the older ones, older being a relative term.
Meeting to a few people. Like myself.
Yeah, and then we have some newer ones too, that came out of we have a new kind of some new partnerships. We call them Friends of Al. So you'll see some new training. If you're partners with Atomic Learning, I encourage you to go out. We have rolled a huge amount of new training. We actually broke our record for the amount of series that were released last month. It was our biggest month ever. So between our partners of Al and what we're working on, there's a whole lot of new training out there.
Good, thanks.
No problem. Any other questions? All right.